at the moment, I'm kind of just
the new tone now, school tone.
Okay, so are you actually a teacher then? Are you a creative artist or what?
Both music and creative arts in order to help teach basically.
That's great. Cool. That's yeah, fine. If you want to talk about that, you know, inspiring young people.
Yeah. Let me just check the mic.
See that gap? That's where you'll need to speak into. If you're away from the mic, I'll just kind of go.
get your hit back.
Yeah. Sometimes what happens is people have a tendency when they'll go chatting to us and then forget the mic. We'll just have a quick recap call and then we'll get going in, yeah? No, we've only got one set here. Yeah. Well, I can hear it, so I can kind of say
you can.
Well, you can have the headphones if you want to put them on.
yeah, you can, yeah. Oh, yeah, you just set there, you can put that in.
It's nice actually.
If you want it, you can.
Is that the part in it? It's part of the
Okay, me too, we got it live. Me too.
Yeah.
Vin and Show, it's Wednesday, 7 till 9. Wow. How great was Paul?
He was great, yeah. I can see his play becoming like a larger play and then becoming a film.
I thought you were almost going to say like becoming like a blob. Have you ever seen that film, The Blob? Where something gets bigger and bigger and before you know it just...
It's been a while
Owns
since I
the
saw that
world.
film.
Have you never seen it? It's a classic.
It's been a while, it's been a long
Anyone who
time.
hasn't seen it, go and see it. The Blob was a film when I remember watching it when I was young going, wow, what's this about? This kind of gooey stuff which is eating everything that just comes in its way. So yeah.
I must watch it.
Yeah, I think you definitely need to
Because I
watch
don't
it.
remember it now.
But you know what I'm more excited about now? Paul was great artist, great to have him on, fantastic. But now we've got what kind of stuff do you like generally?
I like curly whirly chocolate.
Do you like curly whirly chocolate?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't think he's going to be impressed. We've got Curly, who's coming on the show, as you know, who is a spoken word and hip hop artist.
Yeah.
So, hello, Curly.
Greetings, hello everyone. Nice to meet you both, and obviously be part of the say hello to the audience as well.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. This is just like absolutely wonderful to come. So, do you prefer to be known as a spoken word artist or a hip hop artist, or you kind of like any genre? Yeah, I'll do it. You know that.
Well, it's either one or the other. Sometimes, you know what I mean. Sometimes a bit of both. Kind of. Yeah, it depends how I feel from one day to the next. Whether I want to do something like some music or want to do something a little bit left field and a bit acapella-ish, which kind of lends itself to poetry then. So, but yeah, you know, like different types of music as well.
Is this something that you've always kind of done?
I kind of got into writing and music kind of late, to be fair. I was about 18 when I really started to feel, you know what, I really do enjoy this, and I wonder what the options are, and I did start to take it seriously around that age, so I kind of came into it kind of late compared.
Is that in terms of spoken word, in terms of poetry, or is that in terms of hip hop artists that you may have heard who kind of may have had influences on you in your particular time?
Yeah, so it was, the music side of things was more like 18s, where I was like starting to take it a bit more serious. I had a little duo thing going on. Tried to get a few things put on radio. It was, you know, did okay. It was on the BBC.
Wow. But now you're on the VNN show, which is better than the BBC.
Yeah.
They're great.
But it's certainly funny though. The poetry thing came much later, to be fair, in the music scene.
So it was hip hop that came first.
That's
before
right.
spoken word. Wow.
That's right.
And so, what were your influences then when you were like
growing up as a kid?
Yeah.
So I'm of mixed ethnic background, so I was hearing quite a few different things depending on where I was. If I went to my grandmother's or my aunt's would be there, and they'll be listening to Irish music and getting down with the Irish tunes in the background. Granddad's Scottish, but predominantly in the house, my mum was kind of like George Michael, typical 80s stuff, Ultravox and all those sort of things. And I have to say, you know, that's
So where's the hip hop come from? That
school, you know, you get influences, don't you, by those who are around you. So I was starting to listen a bit more to that, and yeah, and you know, there was one particular track, a series of tracks by Ice Cube that made
you know what, I was going to say Ice Cube. I was just going to say, were you influenced by Ice Cube? I was going to...
I bet you were. You
honestly,
might be going to say something like Ice-T because you don't remember it.
Is there a hip hop artist called Ice Cube? No, but Ice Cube, didn't he sing Mama Gonna Knock You Out? Was that was it, wasn't it?
No,
No, or am I confusing him with the other artist?
Yes, I did someone else. Yeah,
Yeah.
Ice Cube, he was rapping a lot about the day-to-day life of, you know, gang banging and that sort of thing, and telling stories that actually had morals to, and you know, he was reflecting the lifestyle in a way that I could relate to and think, you know what, he's not actually glorifying it. He's kind of like, you know, there's lessons here to be learned. And as a child growing up, in early teens especially, you know, you get people around you who are doing certain things. Some things are right, some things are wrong. And I wasn't really into hip hop, to be fair, when I first heard it, because all I was hearing was F this and F that, and you know, to me it wasn't really doing much for me. And but when I started to listen to his stuff, I was like, you know what, this is worth listening to.
I think there's that thing, isn't there? There's a fine line, isn't there, whereby sometimes when people are using language like that, it's reflective of its time or the anger or whatever it is that they're doing. But once you can kind of decipher that and just put that to the side, there's some deep stuff which is kind of out there with a lot of the stuff that's there, you know.
There's an art to storytelling,
yeah.
You know, and he told his stories in a way that, you know, really resonated with me and a lot of people.
So were you into Public Enemy and?
Yeah. So that came a little bit later on, and so it was mainly that Ice Cube was at the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, tip of the iceberg.
And the rest there was kind of like, that was my entry point really, where I was
Sugar Hill Gang, all that kind of stuff, or was that a bit too?
And then you know, there was some of the other stuff, well, you know, a bit like Onyx and things at the time, Gangstar and, you know, Guru.
Right.
And then listening to, you know, Wu-Tang and all those things, and then, you know, I was starting to get it a bit more, you know what I mean, because I grew up in a predominantly kind of like a whitish area, I would say.
Yeah.
Cut screen, you know, so in the 80s, that wasn't a cool thing necessarily, so I had that to deal with as well, but maybe we'll talk a little bit more about that as we...
Yeah, no, I was going to say, is that something for you, kind of a way of having your own identity? Because, I mean, you were talking about people, you talking about 80s, around that time? I mean, there was a lot of there's racism today, still, it's a different kind of racism, which is kind of still hidden, but I mean, was there that kind of thing where it was a lot more open, wasn't it? You know, whereby, did you find rap that was a way of you kind of expressing yourself and kind of going, hey, listen, you need to hear my voice?
Because I felt like, you know, in some situations I felt unduly kind of judged and feeling kind of, you know, threatened in a way, you know, with a lot of awkward situations that are, you know, just because of the fact that people were making assumptions about me based on my skin colour, and I was being treated a certain way, or things were being said to me that, you know, I didn't hurt no one, why are you treating me like that? And and as you said already, you know, I'm starting to see that again, kind of research today, like I'm seeing, you know, in the playgrounds, I'm seeing kids kind of feeling the same way. Kind of felt in the playground in the 80s, but now it's obviously a different sector of the community, you know.
Would you say in that period you were aware of who you were and what you were, you know, in terms of being proud of your identity? I do this thing with young people about identity, and that sometimes is a major issue for many of us, especially if you're from BAME background, whereby you're made to feel bad about who you are and you've done nothing wrong, and you're kind of like going, why do people not like my colour or what my mum wears or my dad wears, or, you know, or what I eat or what somebody, you know, that whole kind of thing, and you're made to feel bad about who you are, and you've done nothing wrong. So you kind of almost push it to the back where you're not celebrating it, you're kind of indirectly, not openly rejecting it, but you're not embracing it. And I try and get young people to kind of embrace it. So maybe I was asking you, is that, did you embrace who you were when you were younger, or did that kind of come later on for you in terms of your path of discovery of yourself?
I think I was very fortunate, to be fair. I think I won the lottery in many ways, because I was fortunate in the sense that I knew I was loved by my nearest and dearest.
Okay. Strong parents then, obviously, in that sense.
Yeah, and even though mum and dad not necessarily together, my dad always was there still. Do you know what I mean? So I had that as well. So I feel like I was very, very fortunate amongst my contemporaries as well, be they white or black. Because I had my dad still on the scene, and you know, I felt loved. You know, and that was the foundation, really, I think, for a lot of where I'm at today in terms of resilience, capacity to, I guess, turn things around a little. And a lot of the issues I was facing was more from the adults. Not the kids necessarily, but obviously the kids were picking up what the adults were saying, and that was what we were regurgitating in playgrounds and on the streets and stuff. So, it's interesting times, and I think in terms of identity, I felt I was kind of able to explore that. And the other thing about it as well was like what I was facing or feeling from other people didn't make sense to me necessarily. Like why are they feeling that way, acting that way towards me? And it was kind of like illogical. And the interesting thing about that is, my dad was a big fan of he's a big fan of Star Trek. So
Okay.
I've listened to a lot of Spock and and the Next Generation and their thesis of the future and what that would look like with aliens and everyone cooperating and working together and I think sci-fi helped as well. To be fair.
Yeah.
So I think, I know from my dad, especially growing up, black himself, coming through the 70s, 60s and 70s, for him, he would say himself, Star Trek for him was a massive escape,
Star Trek was that whole kind of thing of going, it's cool to be different, it was that thing I think for many people who kind of going, I need something, and Star Trek was like, oh wow, this is whereby, yeah, you can be different, and look, people are different, and they're clever as well, because you're not portraying them in a certain way where you're going, you're not clever enough, and it's almost ahead of its time. So with you now, in terms of your music, what do you like writing about, or your themes that you have?
Well, writing, from when I kind of discovered, this is what I like doing, has always been just very much an outlet for me to, I suppose, channel all those different mixtures of feelings and stuff that I guess I've been holding on to some extent, and trying to channel it through something positive. And this for me, looking at role models who have done well telling their stories, utilising their art and their, I suppose, dissatisfaction with society one way or the other, being able to use it in a positive way as a service to help bring value to people as well. So they've not only made a career out of it, but they've also brought value to other people too, by doing it well. And so, for me, it's helped me to, listening to other people struggle and overcoming certain things has helped me. And with me writing, I've certainly felt the benefits of writing about it as well, and that's something that I wanted to kind of be able to bring to other people too, particularly young boys. I mean, I work a lot in education now. One of the things that made me pivot into education was I watched a documentary saying that 1 in 5 kids when they leave primary school can't read when they go into secondary school. So if you imagine whatever's going on at home, however society's treating you because of who you're perceived to be, based on colour, religion, background, culture, whatever. Not only that, but you've got to access curriculum, learn probably a whole 300 new words in the first few months when you arrive in secondary school, because obviously you specialise in now in lots of different subjects that you probably might not have been so deeply involved in primary school. But then you've also got to make new friends, get around all these classrooms. It's an alien environment. Plus, in the classroom, you could very quickly be made to feel awkward, embarrassed by the fact that you can't read. So what's your alternative? The teacher asks you to read, kick off, walk out of class, throw a table over, keep your respect, keep your head up, walk out.
So with you going into schools and that, are you trying to encourage young people to pick up books? Is that what it is, or is it a case of trying to express how they feel, and that you can still express how you feel in certain styles, whether it's a spoken word or whether it's, if some people want to say street talk, that almost kind of thing, which is a form of spoken word, that whole kind of thing. Is that the angle that you look at things, or is it?
I think from my perspective, I'm just trying to offer a positive experience of creative writing, whether it's in poetry, rap, or other means, just to offer it in a slightly different way, in a fun way that's a bit more fun, a bit more relaxed. So
no pressure.
That's right. There's no exam at the end. I'm not going to come around with a red pen and start splashing it all over your work, saying this is wrong. I'm going to try and encourage, nurture, and support you in having a go. Because I think for many young people, I think the primary objective for most adults, if they really care about young people, is to help them find the best way they express themselves. Not expect them to jump on your side of the fence and express themselves in the way you want them to, but I think you have to meet them on where they're at. Whether it's art, boxing, dance, music, there's so many different forms of intelligences, you know what I mean? And I think we're selling children short and making them feel very pressured in, you know, that's, and I do understand it, I do get it, you know, with these targets and everything, but I think we're doing a bit of a disservice to children, putting them under so much pressure.
Is it kind of almost bringing the fun back in?
Yeah. That's what I like to think. That's what I like to think in the sense of the way I bring value and what, you know, the organisation that I represent kind of offer as well. So part of an organisation called Memorime Education. You can check that out, memorime.com. We offer lots of different packages for schools and people referral units, etc. So from anti-knife crime talks, we get like people like Alison Colpin, who really can relate really well to young people, telling her story of herself and obviously her son as well, which many of your listeners probably are more aware of than who I am anyway. He was Debsman, aka Joshua Wybira, obviously. And we do AQA support, early intervention for year 9s. So, you know, helping them pass exams, because the exams now for kids going into an exam, like, they're not allowed to look at any of the poems and take any references in there, so they've got to memorise like 15 poems, and I don't even know 15 of my own, never mind someone else's.
Now that's scary if you don't know 15 of your own. I mean, this is all kind of wonderful in terms of with everything you're doing. What I was going to do is I'm going to play a track.
Sure.
It's great to have you on. It is Curly, isn't it?
Yeah, Curly.
Do you like being called Curly?
Yeah, man.
How about Curly Whirly?
Yeah.
Curly Watts?
Curly Watts, is that cool? Is that not cool?
Is it just Curly then?
Normally, yeah. It's just a nickname. My real name's Alan, but yeah, Curly kind of is the thing that kind of people have been calling me for some years.
That was kind of quite strange. Yeah, Curly, but my real name's Alan. What?
Wilbert.
Yeah. Have you got some spoken word or some kind of rap for us, or that we can hear later?
both?
Yeah, man. Yeah, of course,
We'll play a track and then we'll get you doing some performance for us. I'd love to hear. Do you like a bit of right here, right now, Nita? Tough if you don't. I like it. Cool, Curly, yeah. So we'll get you to do some spoken word. Do you improvise as well? If you didn't know, I'm just saying, if you do, then I'll kind of go, I'm throwing 3 words at you, can you make something up? You don't have to, I'm just saying if you want to. But that's up to you. If you do, then I'll kind of go throw you away and kind of go, if I throw you 3 words, could you make a rap out of it or spoken word out of it? Yeah, that's fine. In fact, I'm going to ask you about rap games. Are you watching that? Obviously, I don't know.
You know what? My tunnel vision at the moment is so sensitive. I don't even know. I just don't know who's buying this stuff. But I don't really watch this thing too much. Okay, very much. Yeah, kids, work,
Is there anything specific you want to talk about?
Not necessarily. I think I'll bring things out as we go into anti-type racism, spoken really touch on that, maybe back to back that racism today.
And does that reflect in your spoken word as well?
Yeah, it can do.
So when this finishes, I'll get you to do something. Sure. What's it, the piece called?
So I'll do a Shakespeare song.
Okay.
And then I'll do
which you've created or your.
So it's the original form of your poem, and the second verse is the one that equivalent that I wrote.
Okay.
So it's all
Yes. It's quite mixed, but you know. So it's just say what you're gonna do.
I really want to just back words.
No, do that. I like that. And you just do the Shakespeare song, and then we'll and give you an interpretation. That's your rule, yeah.
Oh, I'd rather you not to.
No, all right. Don't worry.
Damn on radio.
No, man, it's cool. You enjoyed it?
Yeah. You guys are really good.
Yeah, well, try to be. Try to make you relax. LL Cool J was the one who was behind Mama Gonna Is it a long time? It's, right here, right now. Guess who we've got right here, right now?
We've got Curly.
We've got Curly. And I normally say to you, Neetu, have you got any questions? And then you, what do you normally say to me? What do you want to hear them do?
I want to hear something. I want to hear some of your stuff.
Okay.
Have you got anything for us, Curly?
Yeah, well, someone who's been very well known to me first, probably got something I want to have a little bit of a take on.
Okay.
So this is a 400-year-old poem written by Shakespeare.
Okay.
It's called Sonnet 18. So I'm going to rap it.
Ooh.
You're going to rap it?
You're going to rap a bit of Shakespeare.
I got this idea from a Carla, but the little thing that's a little bit different is the second verse is like a modern day equivalent that I wrote, so it's like a modern day translation. Basically,
Don't forget the iambic pentameter.
I'll
Is it
try.
pentameter?
Try
It's
not-
been a while since.
Yeah, man, you're on this.
She's on the case, she
I have to
is.
get you one of these t-shirts. Okay, so shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. Sometimes too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed. Every fair from fair sometimes declines by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of the fair thou always snores of death brag, thou wanderest in his shade. Within eternal lies the time thou growest, so long as man can breathe, the eyes can see. So long lives this, and this is life to thee. So long as man can breathe, the eyes can see. So long lives this, and this is life to thee. This is Sonnet 18, remixed by Curly for 2019. Words might change, but feelings don't, so let me translate what Shakespeare wrote. Shall I compare you to a summer's day, for your beauty is more stable, baby? As we all know, the weather likes to change, and summertime does not last anyway. So if the sun shines, sometimes it's too hot, or hides behind clouds, where it stays dim, so its gold complexion gets hard to spot, and its beauty sets. I know that sounds grim, but your lovely radiance shall not fade, nor lose the beauty that you possess. Death and decay won't take it away, you'll be safe in these words that I express. So long as men can breathe, the eyes can see. So long lives this, and this is life to thee. So long as men can breathe, the eyes can see. Baby, you will live for eternity.
Way!
Oh, you're very kind, you're very kind, you're very kind. I can only take half the credit for that, because obviously the other half was
I can see that as an audition piece.
Alright, okay.
You know what? You smashed it, mate. I just love that whole take that you did that. You've done this a few times because you were just flowing.
Oh, that one, yeah, that one.
That one, you weren't even thinking about it. You could have eaten cornflakes and done that as well at the same time.
Quite possibly. Well, but hey, yeah, practice, you know, it really does help,
Have you always been a fan of Shakespeare generally, or is that something that you kind of picked up? Because I mean, a lot of people, I mean, I can't get my head around Shakespeare anyway. You need to, you're fine with Shakespeare, are you?
All right.
You're all right. I mean, is that something that you kind of picked up, or you forced yourself to learn it?
You know, we're kind of like surrounded by Shakespeare all the time. You know, so many terms and some of the you know, words that we use each and every day, the phrases, you know, kind of a lot of them are derived from Shakespeare, and so it kind of creeps into everyday language anyway. I suppose it's what have your experiences been with Shakespeare? If it's not being taught in an engaging way necessarily, then yeah, it's going to kind of put you off a little bit. But yeah, so I'd suggest checking out Carla, Hip Hop Shakespeare, and what they offer, man, because you know, I know he does a lot of work around that. He's, you know, very well known for that. And
Yeah, Carla, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you managed to work with him as well then?
I've met him a couple of times. Gave him a lift from one workshop to one of
You
his
gave him a
shows.
lift?
Yeah. And he was very kind to leave a nice, kind message for both of the kids as well. So I was really happy with that.
Did he give you any taxi money?
Oh no, he doesn't have to, man. Of course not.
Yeah.
It's just a privilege, isn't it, to, you know, to be able to spend a bit of time with someone like that, of that ilk, who, you know, is an inspiration to a lot of people, you know.
So do you look to inspire young people as well in terms of with Shakespeare?
It's not necessarily on my remit to specifically do that, but obviously you know, if I can, then I will.
Yeah, I can see them sitting in class and thinking, oh, do we have to do Shakespeare? But then if you come in, you can encourage them and they'll think, actually, it's cool.
Yeah.
We'll read that Hamlet.
I've actually been booked to do a little workshop with some year sixes to help them write sonnets based on the fact that, you know, I can just drop a little rap on sonnet 18, you know,
Yeah, because
you know.
I can see, like the boys especially, sitting there thinking, and then, you know, with somebody like you, they'll think twice. Yeah, actually, we'll have a go at this, and then, you know, they'll probably get into it, and then they'll know what the plays are about.
Yeah, it is about trying to, you know, alter perceptions. You know, a lot of people might think that Shakespeare is meant to be delivered in the Queen's English, whereas actually, in fact, during Shakespeare's time, the Queen's English didn't even exist.
Yeah.
You know, so it's very interesting how, you know, some of this kind of canonized material.
Gentrification.
Yeah, you know, it's perceived to be not for this group, more for that group. And yeah, it's good to, you know, at least shake that up a little bit.
Yeah, because he can still get his message across and his story across, you know, with different ways, through different ways. You're putting me off. Stop pointing at me.
I'm pointing at you because you're away from the mic, that's why.
Well, you know, he again, Shakespeare tells stories very, very well. And what he talks about are, you know, key things, emotions, situations that we all can relate to today, hence his work is still very much at the forefront and still seen as regarded as some of the greatest works of history because of the way he told those stories based on whether it's betrayal, anger, lust, all those different things that are still prevalent obviously in human society today, so it's still relevant.
Yeah, no,
and society's presented.
You're going to tell me now that you did pass your O-levels or GCSE English literature?
I didn't do too well at school.
Really?
I'll be honest. Yeah, mainly D's.
Wow.
D's. I had to go back to college to pass my to get a C. You know, in English. You
So
know,
what inspired you? You know, that whole kind of thing. There's a lot of young people out there where suddenly they're not sure what direction they want to do. Or maybe they've had some bad results and what have you. Did you have a wake-up call somewhere along where you suddenly went, you know what, I need to do something? Or I mean, you talk about at 18 where suddenly you like hip hop and what have you, and the whole kind of was that what was your inspiration in turn, or did you just fall into it accidentally? That whole kind of journey.
I think what it was for me because I left school not having much of a clue what I wanted to do necessarily, so I had to try and figure out what I definitely don't want to do, and at the same time make ends meet. So I had like 3 part-time jobs.
Wow, I really like that where you've got what I definitely don't want to do, because I think you're not only were you like that, I think there was many of us who were like that, whereby you suddenly leave school and you're like, I don't really know what I want to do. And you've got your mum or your dad who are going, when are you going to get a job? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And for certain moments, I think with all of us, we kind of go, yeah, what are you doing? I'm doing this. Why? Is it what you want to do? No, it's because my mum and dad have said do it. You know, it was almost that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But you didn't really want to do it. So I was just wondering what made you, what's lovely is where you said, finding out what I definitely didn't want to do, because that does narrow it down a little bit at least.
Yeah. I mean, you know, because I observe, you know, like most young children do, they look around them and they look at people maybe in their family or the nearest and dearest or friends, and they see certain patterns that perhaps they don't like, and you sort of think, you know what, I don't want that to happen to me. I don't want to get locked up, I don't want my door getting kicked off, I don't want my mum feeling this way, I don't want my children going through this, or that. So, you know, you have to kind of make shrewd decisions as well, you know, growing up about who you're around, you know, you do pick things up through osmosis, I think, you know, that's one of the things, but coming back to what you were saying, I think that I was kind of lost my thread now.
Yeah, no. It was just that
trying different things.
Yeah, trying different things where you kind of you sorted out what you didn't want to do, and then just trying to get yourself focused.
You have to taste different things. So I took myself to college, tried different things that I thought I was okay at, and then kind of narrowed it down from there. So just want to be in an environment where I can have a go. It's like a buffet of life experience in a way of careers. I didn't know you could make a living.
A buffet of life. I love that. I'm loving these little phrases that you're throwing out.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get bored with buffets, though. That's a thing, though, isn't
Well,
it?
this is it. You go and then you go to the next buffet. You know, and try
Yeah.
food that's on offer there.
Yeah.
You know, you might go to a whole different sector. You know, so that's when what did I do? So I did engineering. I did sociology. I even studied. I did do a degree for a first year cultural studies. I did art and design. I did media studies. Tried lots of different things out, and some of that I still keep today. You know, that's been useful. So I'm making videos or I'm putting stuff out.
Incorporating those elements into it.
Yeah. And you know, and then this music thing really stuck with me throughout all those different transitions. You know what I mean? So trying out different things.
That was kind of the thread that kind of was always there.
Yeah.
Moving in and out of it.
More of a hobby, but then I was thinking, you know what? You know, I'm trying to take this seriously, and then you know, 18, 19, 20. But you know, the world was different back then. You know, to get anywhere, you know, you kind of had to know people in the industry a lot more. You couldn't just break out necessarily like you can today. You know, going viral with a video, which I think is a huge advantage for many young people now. And I'm excited about social media in certain ways as well. Just it's like any other tool. It's just how it's used. And I think that back then it was like you kind of had to know the gatekeepers. You had to have the relationships with the right people.
To kind of do that. Whereas nowadays you can be your own gatekeeper to a certain degree, can't you? Whereby though the big search engines, they kind of dictate a lot as well in terms of what you're seeing and what isn't seen. For you, can you rap about anything or do spoken word about anything? So if I suddenly said, right, I'm going to give you 3 things, I gave you 3 items, you could do a couple of lines about.
Yeah.
Let's give it a go. Let's see
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Okay.
Can I have an item?
Wait,
Are you doing yours
So
first?
give me the
I think. So do we need to play a track for you to come out with a couple of lines on it?
Not
or
necessarily.
No?
I'll give it a go. I mean, I'm not the best freestyler in the world. I'll put that out there. So like,
Yeah, I can see this as a school workshop.
Yeah. So I was thinking Boris Johnson. Yeah. I think that's enough. I think.
Really?
What do you
I
think?
thought we were going to do 3 items.
3 items. Okay. Boris Johnson, water, and chocolate, because that's your favourite.
Can I choose 3 next time?
You can have them after.
I can't wait.
Should we play a track?
I'll just. So what was the other one? So water.
Boris,
Johnson.
water and chocolate.
And
instead.
chocolate. So you're making a rap just based on those 3 items. Yeah?
Oh no, pressure.
Pressure. It's on.
Under pressure.
We need a clock ticking, don't we?
Under pressure.
I think we've got. Have you got? No. Have you got? I'm just wondering.
Alright then.
Pressure. Pressure. Pressure.
slowly.
Alright then. Okay.
You've got something.
Alright. So, who's the Prime Minister? I'm on like Boris Johnson. You're telling me that we couldn't have any kind of other option? Well, I'm thinking about the future for my son and daughter. Gotta go with the flow, you know, just like water. Yo, I got here on time, kind of early. The same hot chocolate, a bit like a curly.
Hey! That was brilliant. That was good. That was I did like that. Do you want to give yours, Nita?
Yeah, but I've only got 1 item. I've got banana.
Don't say purple.
You say purple.
Toothbrush.
Yeah.
And
Is this all stuff that goes in your mouth? Banana, toothbrush, it's just like, yeah.
And cheese.
Cheese, something else that goes in your mouth. There you go.
Alright.
Pressure's on.
Yeah, the pressure's on. I'm feeling the
He's
heat.
feeling it. Yeah.
99 degrees, but I'm gonna try and come out with some lines that don't smell like cheese. Yeah, coming through with a bit of drama, ain't no palaver. I don't want to slip up on a freestyle like skin from a banana.
Oh!
Can you feel this flow? Can you feel the adrenaline rush? Gotta keep it fresh, like when you put minty on your toothbrush.
Hey! He's killing it.
I don't know.
Look, let's put. So you liked Ice Cube, didn't you?
Yeah.
This probably is an old track. I don't know whether we're allowed to play it, but look, we'll play
We're
it.
not allowed to play anything on the system, dear.
Are we? Okay. know this.
This wasn't quite the Ice Cube tune that was coming.
This was a cool one. They came up on here, I think.
I wanted to.
Yeah, so we'll get some more spoken word from you, whatever thing you want to do, yeah.
You guys are okay?
Yeah, man, that's it. So we've got about 15 minutes.
Wow, time flies, man.
Yeah. You enjoying it, yeah? It's like, just give us a update with what you're doing, what your number and what have you. So, there's a friend of mine who's, do you know Marlene Bennett? She's doing a show this Friday, Lucy Marlene, and we get on the show. She's doing the sisters thing, and she's got a little different acts. So what I do is I always send over acts to her, and people are playing back most of them. So she's got Zuzu, Zazu, you know, the two girls who are the guy who didgeridoo, Amit, got him going, so there's quite a few people who've been on the show. So, if she needs any more, if you're free on Friday, I'll let you know.
I think actually, we're looking children on Friday to Sunday, but they're away next week. They're not going away next week. They're not going away, so I'm with the kids that week. So
I'll message her, but if you, know, so I'll put you in touch with her. She's on Surrey Road. There's a place, there's a club on Surrey Road.
yeah. What time?
Starts 7 o'clock. But let me check with her, just in case. I know that I think she's got all the apps, but she hasn't.
Send me the details. We can hear from her.
Yeah.
Always busy.
I'll message her.
Now, put in writing. I did your creative writing course once. And that's about it as an adult, but as a child I did a lot of writing. You know, like as a child they're always telling us to write stories. But even when they weren't telling us to write stories, you know, it was quite a reader writing type. As a child.
So what do you now into like? What do you now into dance?
What you mean, like party ones?
Yeah.
Well, I do this radio show,
That's good.
and I have been acting in the past, but I'm not doing it anymore.
Thoughts about ways to bring acting more.
Maybe go back into it slowly, I think.
Here's what they like.
You don't know, because at the moment it's all happening in London and Manchester.
Can we go live? Nita, you've been putting your back into it.
Oh, I have, that's why I'm so tired today.
Gosh, need to. Need to and need to. You need to.
Okay,
That's great, so yeah.
that's why I'm back at.
Yeah. Curly, great having you on the show, mate. It's just smashed it with that last one, just with those words. The speed of thought, is it just in your mind where if somebody just says something, you kind of, are they already there, half of the words, if you know what I mean? Or, you know, where you kind of, and then you just find the links, or?
I think in general reading helps. That helps. I think if you read, broaden your vocabulary, you got more to rhyme with, and then it's practice again. But I don't really practice that often.
Yeah, kids, so you need to read more, and you need to know more words, and you should read the dictionary.
RhymeZone's good as well.
There you go, that.
RhymeZone.com.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Have you got some more stuff for us, whether it's rap
Do you know
or
what?
spoken word, something that you've written yourself, or?
Yeah.
While you're doing that, can I just say,
No, you can't.
is it, do you like, you know, when you've got the word, is it like, I'm just thinking how you do it, is it like, you look at the word like big, and then you think, what
Stick.
rhymes with big,
Mhm.
and then you think of a sentence that goes with those two words.
Yeah. That's kind of like the process. Yeah.
I've always thought that was the way. Why would it be any different?
Because you said, how do you do it?
No, in the sense of whether there was already kind of extra line, you know, certain lines that you've got there already in your head.
No, because you don't know what words.
No, but that, because it's only one word that rhymes.
Yeah.
So you may have a kind of part of a
You
sentence.
might have some, yeah, because if you're in doing that as a living, then you will have.
But then why don't we ask Chloe, do you have any of the words in your head? Where you and me are speculating. He's there going, probably looking at us going, what are you guys on about? I just created just off the top of my head.
You know, it'd be interesting to ask all the MCs that you come into this building and how they do it, because probably everyone does it slightly differently, to be fair. Everyone's got each to their own, but you know, what works for them, the process might be a little bit different. But yeah, for me, try and think of the couplets, or any others that might be able to sneak into the sentence as well, so you've got some sentence rhymes as well going on.
Nick a bit of Shakespeare, throw that in there.
Yeah, throw it all in, man, kitchen sink and everything.
Brilliant. So are we going to hear something of one of yours if you just tell us what the title is that you're going to do?
Yeah, this was one kind of put out recently. It's called Summer Hustle. It's on Spotify and all that.
Ooh, Summer Hustle.
Yeah. So the seeds to succeed need watering with dreams. As the sun shines down, see the way I lean forward. Won't let the past overshadow me. I'm focused as I graft and keep my nose clean. Got to be picky as life can get sticky. Time is precious, watching it ticking. It doesn't add up if you don't make it count. Are you on this summer hustle? Because that's what I'm about. We're on a summer hustle, trying to fix this puzzle, believing that there's light at the end of the tunnel. You can't break through, then make your own shovel. Dig in deep and work every muscle. I was a cleaner and that, served food and that. Retook my GCSEs at college and that. Got married and that, got in debt and that. Got divorced and slept on floors and all that. I own my mistakes and learned from all that. My losses are my lessons and my lessons are my gains. I'm pure with my intentions and my life aims and targets. Summer is all about the harvest. You reap what you sow, so you better get started for next year. And who's hitting it the hardest? Tarati.
Yeah.
And never rule yourself out, even if you're in the margins.
Way! I was celebrating that performance before you even finished, mate.
I'll take the hint,
That was brilliant.
No,
Again, is that very much based on your own kind of life, what you've because you things that you've touched on, you know, you could talk yeah?
Absolutely. I mean, I think being authentic is what appealed to me in music. People telling their authentic stories in a good way. So I'm always working on what I'm doing and trying to make it better, but always striving to be authentic, because after all, we're not going to be on this planet forever, you know what I mean? The average person, life expectancy is like 4,000 weeks, man, you know what I mean? When you break it down like that,
Gosh.
you know, I want to try and
4,000 weeks? I don't think I've got that many left.
do the math, man, check it out, see how many years that is, man, it's about 80 odd years. So,
80, yeah.
So I want to document my life for my future generations as well, you know what I mean? And you know, so I don't want to be talking stuff that ain't me, you know, I want to be putting stuff down that's going to hopefully maybe add value to them, you know, in the future.
So for yourself, where do you know, when you, say in 10 years time, or not even 10 years time, 5 years time, from where you are now, do you want to, is it within education that you want to stay, or do you want to, where you're recognised for your music, or your spoken word, or your, you know, what are you, in an ideal world, if I could wave that one, what is it? Is it a case where you go, yeah, you know what, I want to be a rap artist, or is there anything that you kind of go, or is it a case of, no, I want to be in education, I want to change people's lives? I know you can do all those things, but is there any one specific thing that you really want to focus on?
I mean, this sounds very lame. I just want to try and be a very good human being and offer people value. That's basically it. And how that comes out is, first and foremost, obviously I've got to pay the bills. So doing stuff in education, that helps to do that. The music thing was something that I left back a while ago, but I'm kind of finding my feet in there again, sort of thing, do you know what I mean? So
if you get the recognition, you'll take it all day long.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, first things first. My main focus. I haven't got a television in my flat at the moment. You know what I mean? That's a choice. I don't want no distractions. In essence, I'm just focused more on what I'm doing in terms of building my business, doing what I'm doing at the moment, trying to offer value to schools, trying to help people out. And the other thing is more just a personal thing, and if that does become something later on, then yeah, that'll be great.
So,
but
okay, if
I
you
don't
take,
mind being a 60-year-old hip hop artist who's recognised at that age.
yeah.
You know, I don't mind that, and that'd be quite enough.
So when you say the like, you know, no TV through choice, is that because of what you think is it because you think of it as a distraction, garbage, or it's in terms of you really being creative to yourself, where you're not being influenced, where you're kind of going, you know what, okay, you've been influenced by the values that you've brought up and things that you may have heard, but it's almost kind of being in a zone.
I think there's a lot of fear out there, man, and I think, you know, I don't want to get too much into this bit, but like, I just think there are a lot of distractions, and I think fear can certainly undermine you taking risks, and I think you need to be able to take a bet on yourself, which is, you know, for a lot of people, a big risk. I mean, I won't go into this too much, but you know, I was in hospital for a couple of years ago because my health just went downhill. I was sitting there, it was in about 6 days, and I was thinking, boy, I was trying to do the right thing, and my health has deteriorated this much. I've got this other thing on the go as well, because I was going through a lot at the time, and then trying to be a teacher on top of that, because I was like teaching 4 days a week. And that was not in, you know, in normal kind of teacher mode, you know, marking, planning, and people don't, you know, it's a tough gig, man.
That
teaching.
is a lot of pressure,
You know?
isn't it? Teaching it's changed from the way it used to be, from what I've heard. Anyway, my brother's in teaching, and he always said
It's a tough
"Oh,
gig,
it's
man.
tough."
It's a tough gig in my view, and but I had this freelance capacity that I've been working in as well for the last 10 years, but not really throwing myself into it, just trying to play it safe, do the teacher thing. I get the salary every month, and then I had this other thing as well that was bringing in a little bit here and there. But then I was in hospital thinking, man, I'm trying to do the right thing for this long, and it's led me here, man. So I think, you know what, I've got to make a change, a fundamental shift, and that for me was the moment the person that went into hospital came out a different person entirely. Do you know what I mean? In the sense that, you know, I'm very lucky, I've got a second chance, I've got an option here to bet on myself, so I'm just going to do it. And for the past 3 years or so, that's kind of what I've been doing, just focusing on trying to skill myself up, invest in myself, avoid distractions. My main things, I'm focused on getting better at what I'm doing and trying to bring more value to as many people as I can, and obviously being a father.
And hence the reason why you say 4,000 weeks.
Yeah, man. You know, we're very lucky to be born a human being, man. I think the odds are something like 400 trillion to 1. You know, that's a lot of zeros, and you're the one that made it. So we've got this opportunity. You haven't got that much time. You know, and I think, you know, I'm 41 now. Do you know what I mean? So
No, you don't look it.
But I appreciate
It's a
that.
baby.
I appreciate that. But no, man, 41.
I think I need to get one of them baseball caps.
And yeah, so like, you know, yes, been through lots of different things, and I think the art in terms of music for me helps me to express that and get through it, while at the same time still being a vehicle for me to make ends meet as well and help other people.
If you were to, like, you were coming towards the end now, is that if you were to say to young people, any young people out there, or even to anyone, you know, you don't have to be young, what would your main thing be to say to them about life generally? Because we all can have hang-ups, worried about doing things, scared to do things. What would you say?
I'd say be bold enough to try different things, different ways to express yourself. That is the key, really. How do you best express yourself? You have got this unique opportunity as a human being that a lot of people have, and you know, suddenly it's taken away, and you're lucky to still be here. What is your legacy going to be? What are you going to do with this time that you have got? And I think it's definitely worthwhile considering who you're around and what affects your thinking and feeling. You know, if there's a piano in a room and a guitar, the same note on the piano that plays resonates on the guitar. So we all got frequency, we all resonate, and we learn through osmosis just by who you're around. You know, so doing a little audit on who you're around and how they make you feel is another factor as well. And again, you've got to be bold, you've got to be brave, and think, you know, well, maybe we want to step away from that energy to something a little bit more productive and positive.
I really love that whole thing of being bold and being brave to express yourself. I think that's a wonderful thing. How can people find out more information about where you are, what you do? Are you on Facebook? Are you on what are you on? Are you on?
Yeah, Facebook under curlyspoetry.com.
Yeah.
The co-artist organisation I'm a part of as well. That's running these different workshops in schools. The Boys Intervention, Girls Grammar Slam, AQA support, Safer Streets, Joshua Ribera Foundation, can all be found on memorine.com.
Thank you so much. It's been so wonderful, very inspiring. You've given us a great insight, an amazing spoken word artist, rapper, stuff you do. It's been a great pleasure to have you on the show. Me too.
I definitely think you're very inspiring, and I can see you doing a lot of workshops in schools.
I appreciate
Getting
that.
through to all those boys who sit at the back and they just want to, mess about.
Listen, if there's anyone out there that wants to get on the website and email us if they need any resources, and if they, think about exams, we've got some resources that we can definitely point you towards, and that might help you through it. You know what I mean? It's a tough time, we understand, and we're here to try and help.
Thank you so much. Keep us updated with anything you're doing. It's been absolutely wonderful. Nitu, before we finish, you got anything that's going on?
No, I'm just thinking your details, well, obviously, we'll put them on our social media sites.
You can put them on your social media. Yeah, great. Thanks,
yeah. So if they can't find you through, thinking, I listened to him on Big City Radio, so just have a look on Big City Radio, and then you can find everyone's personal social media sites from there.
Brilliant, great. You got anything coming up the weekend?
No.
Brilliant. Okay, just a quick shout out. I'm at Wolverhampton doing the whole Back in 10. So I'm still playing the Maharaja. I'm going to be in Azra's retail store where I play the Maharaja in the Sari and Suit Shop. There's also a store called Home From Home where I've got my colleague Amara, who's doing a performance in there, short mini performance. There's also a hairdresser's and a coffee shop, Zico's coffee shop, which is again a performance by Jake, and there's a performance by Lady Sanity, who's going to be at Zach's hairdressers. These are all on Friday. I think the times are about 11 o'clock. If you type in Black Country Touring, you'll get more information.
Yeah. And you'll find leaflets at the Manda Centre.
Leaflets at the Manda Centre. Have you seen them there already? Yeah. So yeah, if you get a chance, do come along to that. Join us again, me and Nitu, next week, 7 till 9 every Wednesday. It's Vimal and Nitu's show, Unheard Voices, Unheard Stories.
Unheard Talent in Birmingham.
Yeah, Unheard
The
Bang.
big city.
Bring it on, yeah. See you guys next week. See you guys later. You got anything else, Nitu? No?
Good evening, ladies and gents.
Yeah, see you later, guys. Did we take pictures of you here? We did, didn't we? Did we take pictures of you here? We didn't.
Oh, no.
Big City Radio News.
Any other artists, musicians, anything?
From the Sky News Centre at 9, Boris Johnson's told Parliament it's paralysed as he addressed MPs following yesterday's Supreme Court ruling, and he's challenged oppositees to call a confidence vote that could trigger a general election.
Have you been streaming it?
Yeah. It's like a modern day equivalent that I wrote, so it's like a modern day translation.
Don't
Basically,
forget the iambic pentameter.
I'll
Is
try.
it pentameter?
try
It's
one.
been a while since.
Yeah, man, you're on this.
She's on the case, she
Get
is.
you one of these t-shirts, man. Okay, so shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. Sometimes too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed. Every fair from fair sometimes declines by chance, or nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of the fair thou owest, nor so death brag thou wonderest in his shade. Within eternal lies to time thou growest, so long as man can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives lives this, and this gives life to thee. So long as men can breathe, the eyes can see. So long lives this, and this gives life to thee. This is Sonnet 18, remixed by Curly for 2019. Words might change, but feelings don't. So let me translate what Shakespeare wrote. Shall I compare you to a summer's day, for your beauty is more stable, baby? As we all know, the weather likes to change and summertime does not last anyway. So if the sun shines, sometimes it's too hot or hides behind clouds where it stays dim. So its gold complexion gets hard to spot and its beauty sets. I know that sounds grim, but your lovely radiance shall not fade, nor lose the beauty that you possess. Death and decay won't take it away. You'll be safe in these words that I express. So long as men can breathe, the eyes can see. So long lives this, and this gives life to thee. So long as men can breathe, the eyes can see. Baby, you will live for eternity.
Wow!